Welcome to Databricks News. Today I want to talk about Agentic data quality monitoring, LLM Judge UI Builder, default SQL Warehouse, SQL Warehouse activity, connecting assistant to MCP servers, pivot in Google Sheets, tag Databricks apps, and deploying Databricks apps from Git. Let's start with first update, which is Agentic data quality monitoring. Now, if you go to your schema, it's easy to enable data quality monitoring. It was available before, but now it was significantly improved. And anomaly detection. The only option which we have there is anomaly detection, but it's detecting a lot of things because it's detecting both data drift, gaps in time series. So if you enable it, it will automatically monitor your data and learn from your data. When you click View Results, then you can check how many tables are healthy, how many are unhealthy. So let's wait a few seconds for a dashboard to appear. And dashboard is here, and we can see there are results. We can see everything about our tables. It's really nice designed. And also important note is that we have that data in system tables. So if you go to system table data quality monitoring schema, table results. So based on that system table, you can set, for example, SQL alerts to be notified when some data is unhealthy. Another update is related to mlflow. There is new version of mlflow. On mlflow page, you can read all changes which are in new version. Of course, in Databricks, there is managed mlflow, so it's a bit different, like more advanced and easier to use because you don't have to configure anything. But one of my favorite updates, last week I showed you how traces are sent to Unity Catalog using OpenTelemetry standard. But there we have one thing which is really nice, because if you go to experiments and select experiments, you can deploy using UI scorers, which are LLM as a judge. So it's really easy. For example, you can choose safety one. It's one of the simplest to configure, and you just click create scorer. You can set some settings, and then you have that scorer ready to use. And then when you make some evaluation, so for example, here we have some data set, then you can use that scorer to evaluate that data set. So it's working nice with traces because you can keep that traces in Unity Catalog, and then you can add them to evaluating data set and run against these scorers. So not everything is yet possible through UI, because then you need to have some code to make evaluation, but I think soon everything will be also in UI. Another update is related to SQL Warehouse. There are two small updates. One is that default SQL Warehouse is going GA. We can see that there is no more beta here or private preview. So we can choose the default SQL Warehouse for Genie, dashboards, and SQL editor. It's quite useful if you have few warehouses, especially if you have few big ones. Then you can choose that smaller one as default. So it's really good FinOps practice. Unfortunately, that setting is not working for notebooks, SQL notebooks. Yes, so I hope that someday it will be implemented also there. And another thing related to SQL Warehouse is that we have new activity details tab. So if we can enable it, and now it's also worth to mention that chart is interactive, so you can zoom in. So we can zoom in for some activity, and then we can see that cluster was up and where was up, and there was query activity, and when it was idle. So we can see that it was idle, then it auto terminated. Yes. So It makes monitoring much more easier, but it's not so big change. I would like to see also load in percentage here, but it's not yet here. Okay. Another update is related. That one I like. Another that which I'm talking now about is related to Assistant, because now we can connect Assistant to MCP servers and communicate directly with the servers through Assistant. What is MCP? It's standard for LLM, so LLM can communicate via, it's using just JSON and sending available comments and replies for these comments. It's in some JSON standard sent by gRCP, I think it's called like this. And we can connect external MCP server. So if you have some SaaS application, you can connect here, but you can connect also internal. So let's see, we have this bakehouse sales space, and we can connect it, and we can see that now it's connected. And if we ask now question, tell me sale from my bake house. Okay, let's click. So, and you see it's because of metadata, because it's called bake house. It choose correctly that MCP server and want to execute a query on that. So you can click allow. It's good to leave this allow and disallow. It's generally my approach for agents, because you cannot trust them fully, so you don't want that they will send some crazy data through MCP. So it's better always to review that and then allow that execution. So now it's working like Jenny, yes, because you see that it's analyzed that it used Jenny to analyze that data and returned me answer. So it's a really nice improvement. Another update is related to Google Sheets. So for some time we have this Databricks connector, but now it was improved. So in that connector, there is nice functionality, because if you select, you can use SQL, but you can also select data. And if you select some table, let's say table sales, we have now option to pivot the data, and this way, and that pivot table will be connected to Databricks. So it's actually designed nice. So maybe it's not the best table, but to show it, but let's select rows, sale ID, columns, country ID, and value will be sum of amount. Yes, that's sum. And click save and import, and now it's importing from Databricks directly to Google Sheets. There are some rumors on LinkedIn that soon something like this will be also available for Excel. So I bet that probably it will be exactly the same, yes, because that connector is proved to working quite well. And we see that this pivot table was generated. That one is really simple one, and we have also in imports that it's imported from Databricks. It can always be refreshed also, so that's nice. And the last updates are related to Databricks apps. When you use UI and you deploy new app, there is option now to deploy it from Git. Of course, it was possible before from Git, but you had to use CI/CD process with Databricks bundles. Probably when it was added, because when you are working on prototype and you have some Git repository with your app, then you are destroying that app, then it's much more faster to experiment, yes, with that with that repo and that app. So you can just put hit your Git repository URL. But of course, remember that for deployment to production, use just CI/CD and Databricks asset bundles, not this option. But for experimentation, it's really great that it was added. And last update also related to apps is if we have app, we can, I will make it smaller where it's gone. We can add tags, yes. So also that govern tags. So for example, we can mark that app that is displaying email addresses, okay, and save. And now we have that tag applied. So that's all for this week. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.